It's a voice, right?
What is going on, you guys? Welcome and good evening, man. I'm so glad that you guys have decided to join us for Dungeons and Baddies. I am super excited. Today, if you've been keeping up with us, you've probably seen that we've been playing another adventure. Well, today we actually have decided we're going to play a brand new adventure starting tonight. And so we just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining us along this ride and along everything that we got going on today. And so, as we get started, let us know. Drop down in the comments and tell us all the fun stuff that you have today. But we're going to get started. So, as mystery and mayhem approaches, we find ourselves in the land of Alexandria, 1267 years after the worlds first collided. It starts out like a normal day in the beautiful land of Elysium, a large island kingdom away from all the danger in the world, or so it seems. We notice a lively crowd has gathered here today for a large celebration. The birds are chirping, the sweet scent of cinnamon in the air. First winter has just ended, and farmers begin to sow the seeds in the air. You see children running around without a care in the world. See shopkeepers are gathering their supplies as they get ready for the day. None of them are anticipating any of the pending doom just on the horizon. This is where we meet our first adventurers. I'm going to roll for what scene we get started with. And so, to set the stage, we enter a nice little tavern, all right? Where you guys see a nice bustling of people. There's a huge crowd here celebrating. They're drinking. They're dancing. We pan the camera around and we see a typical orc versus orc are, arm wrestling at a table, and they're just slamming each other down. And then one of them, is beating his chest because he just won. We pan over to a nice little fireplace where we see a guy dressed in a wizardry robe. He's got like the hat on. He's got a nice long pipe that he's smoking next to the fire as he's looking at it. We pan off into a corner where we see a mysterious man who's just staring at all the other adventurers going on. And there's a couple other things that are going on as people are just celebrating. They're excited, getting ready for their next adventure. When you hear somebody kick open the door and a man walks in looking for a bartender. And we pan over to that bartender. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr. Raven Falcor.
Well, hello. My name is Raven Falcor. I'm the bartender here of the Rusty Spade, and my family is a military family. Father in the military as a general. My brother and twin sister also enlisted, and my mom is the owner of this here bar, the Rusty Spade. I will be your bartender this evening.
I love it. Raven, what does your character look like?
He's a man of fancy tastes. Likes to play up his wealth a bit more than he actually has. But loves to learn, loves to hear the latest rumors and know all the juicy gossip. And
what is Raven doing in this moment?
So Raven is currently just serving drinks alongside his mentor Octavius, who is a squid person or octopus person, more correctly. But I'll pick on him and call him a squid person. So he's taught me how to bartend, and tonight he's letting me be the lead bartender and serving the guests.
I love it. So you're out here serving the guests, and you see a man approach you. Basically, he's wearing kind of rusted knight armor. He looks like he has seen all sorts of things going on. I mean, he's got a long beard with twisting braids that come down. He's sword is sheathed by his side. He's got a bow on his back. He comes up, he turns the stool around and sits by you, and he looks at you and he goes, "Hey, evening bartender, how you doing? Or morning bartender."
Oh, I'm doing all right, chap. How are you?
Oh man, whew. Just been out there killing vermin, and then I was coming out here, heard there was a bit of rumors going on.
Boy, rumors, eh? I know a few of those around these parts.
Hi. Anything I could do to help you out, huh?
Well, let's see. Can I fancy a drink before we talk business?
Aye, of course. Drinks are a must, and hand one to, and he points to those three guys I mentioned earlier that, hand one to that orc who won the arm wrestling fight, the wizard in the side, and then the guy in the very back who's shaded and in dark colors. He basically is hand a drink to them as well.
All right, I'll make sure to get something for all three of you. Surprise them. Anything particular for yourself?
What do you got? Anything particularly useful or fun to drink?
Well, I got a little bit of a spicy cocktail going today called the Dragon's Breath.
Aye, let's see what it looks like.
All right. It's a little bit of an explosive one, so hope you like it.
Can you roll me an performance check?
Alrighty. $17.
All right.
Nice.
And so while you're doing this, man, you look absolutely incredible. I mean, there's other people in the bar. They're kind of doing their own things, but now you start to suddenly feel that everyone's eyes are on you as you're participating in craft. I mean, you're swinging, you're throwing it down. People are starting to cheer. You have a cup that's labeled tips, like a jar, and you just start seeing people just raining silver and copper into that like it's nobody's business. You get about probably like 10 gold worth of silver and copper. And so
Dang. Dude, that's good, boy.
Don't touch
it's
the octopus.
a lot. It's a lot of stuff. And as you mentioned, the octopus, Octavian has come by, and you see him kind of on the other side of the bar. And he is just slinging drinks to people. I mean, he's an octopus man. He has 6 arms. So he is just throwing different drinks at people. He's sliding things. Some people, 2 of his arms are cleaning out glasses, as they're going. The other 4 arms are, again, slinging drinks. And he's like, "Hey, Raven, pay attention. Don't just be dancing around like that. All right, mate?"
Oh, I got a busy customers over here. I got to keep this up. It's not easy. You're the
And
one
then
who
you
put me
see
in
that-
charge of this.
Exactly. And then you see the knight who came in at the beginning is, I like your fancy moves. And he flips you some gold as well. Same in the same pile as
Oh,
the
thanks,
other
love.
ones. Yeah. And then do you hand him the drink, or you slide it over to the other people?
I had already poured him the drink.
Gotcha. He downs it, and let's see what happens to him.
Ooh.
He fucking
truth.
slings that shit down like it's nobody's business. It burns his throat, and he passes out on the desk
Gosh.
right there.
Got
And
him.
so he, out cold, slams his head on the thing, slips over, and then you see one of the other, the guy who won the, bout between the 2 orcs. You see him come pick him up. He goes, "Lightweight," and he starts to try to like drag him back to his table as they start to kind of gather up together to begin their adventure. Octavius comes back and he says, "Hey, love, sorry, you got a special order for you. Could you
What
go to
was
the
it?
back and catch it out?"
Yeah.
And he basically sends you to the back, and you notice while you're there that there's a list of like ingredients, fancy sort of things that are like ginger, cinnamon, and all of it says basically that he said it's the king's order personally, and I got my hands full, so I can't be slinging it over there. Your mom's out of town doing some business work, so could you please run it to the king? Usually it's something I would do, but I need you to get out there and go.
You trust that to a
head
bloke
way.
like me?
Uh, well, you see, normally I would do it, but you see him start. Some of these people start wrestling in the background, and then you see him kind of sling his arms over them as he's trying to like pull them away. And he says, well, "You see, I've got my hands full. Literally, my hands are full." And then the other two hands again are just cleaning out drinks. He's spitting out like ink throughout the cups to like clean them out. And specifically, it's disgusting. It's like a horribly set up establishment for them.
Well, I ain't looking to get scuffed up today, so I'll take care of this then.
And so, perfect. And as you walk out the back door, you're gathering your supplies. You start seeing all these things. You notice that there is two Goliaths. These are 10-foot tall beings, just yoked out of their mind. The orcs that you saw earlier were about 6 foot tall. I mean, you see these guys are fucking massive, right? And they are launching this guy back and forth. They're playing catch with him, rolled up into essentially like a big ball. And you see him just tossing them back and forth to each other. And, little man, you see the little man? And then just tossing them back and forth. And then as you get kind of closer to them, again, they don't really notice you or see you. They spike this man into a fucking barrel, and they begin to walk away into a barrel of vegetables. Do you help this guy? Do you see this man at all?
Yeah, I'll go check on him.
Cool. And as you go to check him out, you pull out what appears to be a very short man. He kind of looks like a halfling, but surprisingly so much bigger than what you would have imagined a halfling looked like. And can we go ahead and describe your character, Mr. Randman?
All right. Well, I'm Randman. I'm a little dwarf boy. Came here to the town. I'm here to join the army, I guess. I guess should I talk? I just got pulled out of the group.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feel free to roleplay.
Oh, thanks. Eric. I had it myself. I could have handled those guys any day, but feeling maybe I guess I was a bit off today.
Oh, I see a lot of brawls where I'm from, so that one didn't look too pretty to me.
No, yeah, I had. If I was just one of them, but they decided to gang up on me. Those jerks.
2-on-1's never fair. Gotta fight your battles.
No, cowards.
Yeah,
So-
and as you guys are talking, and you see a woman kind of sitting in the corner. She's shaking a cup. This woman right here, she is, let's just say, old, decrepit. She has legions all over her body. She's truly horrific to kind of look at. Part of you probably thinks it's probably better to just kind of put her down than to continue to let her live the way that she's living. And you hear her just kind of shaking her change, and she's like, dearest, can I spare some food or some water, please? I just need something, darlings. Please, darlings. She shakes her cup.
Oh, what's your story, love?
Oh, it's a bit on my bad luck. I've ended up here in this godforsaken place. And she coughs up blood as she's sitting there. And she goes on to tell you basically that she doesn't have much to live, but wants to live for, um, you know, some food, maybe her last meal, something. She basically shares that she wants to have some sort of really nice drink and or some vegetables. She also notices that Raymond, that you're dragging a donkey around, and so she might need a ride.
Well, love, it looks like you need a hospital visit or some food at the very least.
Of course, something would be better than nothing. Please, could you help me just a little bit?
Well, I got some tips I stole off me boss, so you know you look like you could use them. If you head to the pub, ask for the squid walking around. He'll hook you up. You know, if that's your poison, or you know, go see a doctor.
How much do you give her out of your tip jar?
Let's say I had 20 gold on me.
Okay, perfect. And you give all of it there. You give it all to her.
Yeah, so that's the money that I pocketed out of it.
Perfect. What were you gonna say, Pony?
I was gonna remind him that like a day's work is equivalent to about 5 gold.
Yeah, so you give her 20 gold pieces, which is amazing.
They were good tippers.
They were excellent tippers, and you're just like
the dragons.
I love it. So she looks at you. You see her start to cry a little bit, and then you see her immediately shift into a beautiful princess of some sorts, an elegant woman, a witch of some sorts. And she, I knew there was still kindness in this world. I see, I'm actually, you see kind of like this little fairy in the background, recording some sort of spell magic thing. And you see him pop up out of nowhere, basically. And she looks at you and goes, you see, I've actually just been testing people, and you're the first person who's ever been kind to me. Let me give you this. Would you take it from me?
What is it?
So she basically just gives you an option to either accept her blessing or deny her blessing, basically.
Well, I don't need much for myself. I'm all fine, but my halfling friend here, he's having a rough day. Maybe he could use it.
Of course, you're part of it. Would you like it as well? I could give you my blessing.
Well, I'm not one to turn down something free.
And you see her smile immediately upon you saying that. As you're getting out the butt or whatever, she smiles like a Cheshire cat and says, "Perfect." And then she grabs your face, rips your eye out, and then puts in another eye. That's a magical eye. Basically, it turns a golden hue color of sorts. And she goes, it'll be perfect. And then you see her burst into a bunch of frogs and completely disappear.
Oh my God.
It was just so fast that I don't even know what happened. I don't even have time to register the pain. I'm just like,
your eye is still on the ground.
Oh no.
He's like, oh no.
Do I even know? Rolling around.
Do I even know that I just lost my eye?
What you now see, Raymond, is that you start to see things very clear. I mean, like the clearest anything has ever seen. You kind of are trying to shift your eyes back and forth to kind of, determine what's kind of just happened. You're kind of in shock that this influencer basically has shown up and has given you this blessing. And what you have now received, Raymond, is an eye that has given you advantages on any perception check that requires sight. So anything that you need to use your eyes, it's perception and investigation, sorry, you have an advantage on now. And so, this traumatic, horrific thing has just happened to you guys, what do you guys do?
I feel like I still don't. I feel like I still don't even notice that my eye is just on the ground. It's like, oh wow, I don't know. I don't know what that was, but man, I see great now. I can see that hunchback all the way up there in that tower.
Do you want to put that eye on there on ice, mate?
What eye?
The one on the ground. I think it's
Oh.
yours.
Oh, that can't be right. I still have both eyes. I seem to be seeing just fine.
What happens
Better than usual.
when you go like this?
Well,
Hit it. Hit it.
So,
Perfect. Well, yeah, you start to see a rat has come and now picked up the eye and is now
oh,
sent
no.
it away.
I just kept on thinking the donkey was gonna come and like snatch
Except for,
it.
eats the eye.
yeah, you see the donkey behind you has noticed the rat and is now going crazy in the background. Yeah. Do you guys continue on the path to the castle?
I guess
Do you
so.
guys- or, yeah.
where
yeah.
you head, mate?
Well, I'm just heading off to unload all these goods.
Oh, you
Got
heading-
a whole load of beets fresh from the farm.
who are you selling them to?
Well, just the market. Anyone who wants them, I guess.
All right. Well, it looks like you're having a bit of a rough day, so maybe I'll follow you to the market. I gotta head into town and get some stuff, anyways.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, yeah, you guys start heading to the market, and then at the market, you start to remember Raven that Octavius is like, oh, this. You feel the note in your pocket, basically, of all the stuff that you need. You're like, urgently remember, King needs this as soon as possible. And then for you, Ranman, you go to the market, and basically nobody wants to buy your
No.
stuff. But one person looks at you and says, sorry, mate. I think actually it'd be best if you just take this to the castle directly, because it, I mean, we already kind of got our stuff, but the orphanage, they definitely would need something of your quality. I'm sorry, love. And she just, again, denies you
No,
through
the
that.
orphanage. I'm not running a charity here. I gotta sell these things, not give them
Oh,
away.
of course, the king will pay for them yourself, but it'll come from his. His pocket himself. Sorry, that donkey is hideous, mate. I mean, I don't know what you're doing with him. As she starts to kind of like hold in vomit from the donkey.
It's got like a rat tail out of its mouth.
Yeah, and on some of your vegetables, there's mud kind of on them as well, and they have no idea. You know, they have no idea what it is. They're like, you know, oh, these are really dirty vegetables. As part of how your family does this.
That will do.
So,
You gotta get them fresh. A little bit of the earthy flavor in it.
yes, but I'm sure the less than fortunate kids would love that. And yeah, she kind of she kind of shushes you away and kind of points you to the direction of the castle. And a lot of you start seeing kind of a lot of these people who are around who are celebrating. You know, they're running through the hallway or the roadways and stuff. And you hear, actually, could you guys roll me a perception check to see what all you guys hear?
Me as well.
Yeah, and this one is hearing, not sight specifically, but you can roll
Hearing?
it with advantage if you want. I'll give you sight specific ones.
Let's see. Sight. Is that just perception?
Yeah, so it either be perception or investigation is what you have advantage on with your eye. When it to do with sight specifically. So if you're going to
Right,
be rolling
but-
with advantage, I'll point out stuff specifically that you see. Versus if you just roll it regular, I'll point out stuff specifically that you can hear or kind of that way.
I rolled a 15.
Perfect.
I rolled a 4. My
Perfect.
sight has improved, but
My
Your
vision.
hearing is still impaired. So essentially, you hear nothing. Raymond,
All
you're
he
kind of
heard
still.
was
You
orphanage.
hear,
Nah.
yeah, you kind of start hearing. You start thinking back on everything that this marketplace. You're like, she's kind of rude. Like that's not cool. Like I should be able to sell my vegetables here. But then you, Raven, you hear a bunch of people talking about this being the 50th anniversary of the ending of the last war. You start hearing about how like everyone's getting ready and geared up for a huge party tonight. And that's probably what your drinks are for, to celebrate kind of everything that's going on. So it's even more imperative that you kind of take these things to the king and those. And so, perfect.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna assume that you guys are heading off in that direction, and so
Yeah.
Yes.
we will move on to. All right. Next scene.
Real quick before the
Mhm.
scene, what we can do if you really want to, I think we can server mute, and then that way, if like they can't hear it, we can mute them so they really can't hear it. Like if you're
Stuff
rolling,
going on.
if you're rolling another hearing, if you're rolling another check for, like, you know, oh,
Sneaky.
Orpheus was
So
just
then-
muted or deafened, you know.
Yeah. So possibly that might be something that we explore.
Yeah, I thought
Probably
about that.
for something super, like a serious thing,
Yeah.
but not for just a regular.
I was just thinking about that
absolutely.
now.
That
So-
would be exciting.
Yeah. So we
Dragon
move on to the next scene. We actually move a little bit inside the castle. We see there's these groups of students walking through the hallways. You see these people kind of lots of wizarding magic is flying through. You see staircases moving and tilting. You see paintings are waving at each other, and they're waving at students as things are going by. Where we then enter into a classroom where we find ourselves hearing a lesson from Professor Failure Marvelius. All right, class, we are going to be talking about the fundamentals of art behind the arcane magic. You see as he scribbles total nonsense onto this chalkboard. It's loud. It's it's the typical classroom chalkboard. They're magic characters too. So and he's doing everything he can to write this up. He is an elf, but what looks like a super old elf. He's got his hair balding up top. He's little strings of his hair are sliding through. Typically, for an elf, they look very well put together. I mean, they're long-lasting, immortal. They, don't die from natural causes, and so this guy looks like he's seen through it, and he looks like he's been around for way too long. As he's shakily starting to put things together, he writes some things on the board. You see him kind of blocking most of the screen, and you see students are frantically trying to write down all the notes before he then erases the board, before really anybody gets a chance to write everything down. And he then continues on with the lecture about how boring, and some boring thing about fundamental arts of arcane magic. Talks about elements and how the first element was came from fire and oxygen, and he starts telling you all sorts of things that you're like, wow, this sucks. This is super boring. And we see two students at the very top of the classroom, one in which is kind of dozing off, not really paying attention. And could you help describe your character? You'll redeem.
So I'm El Redeem. Currently I am just not really paying attention. Um, just it's very boring to me. Like I'm not the type to sit down and just hear and write things down. Um, I try reading whatever he's writing down, but it's not making any sense whatsoever.
Right? What does your character look like?
My character is an ASMR, so they have like white flowy hair, uh, sort of a golden hue eyes, um, but just kind of look like a typical 20 to 25-year-old um, human being, except with long white flowy hair and golden hue of eyes.
Yeah, and angel wings.
And, and angel wings, yes.
It's pretty important detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a kid, a student next to you, around the same age, who's also boring. He's shooting spitballs at people, and oh man, Al, come on, could you do something fun? I love when you do your magic. Could you please? Could you just show me how to do it? You're so you're so fun at it. You know, you just kind of just it just happens. You know, I had to study for it, and you just kind of do things. Could you just I'm sure Professor won't care. Could you just do something for me? As he's talking to you, Al.
Um, let's see. I try to use Misty Step.
Perfect. Could you roll a d20 for me?
Yes. I rolled a 13.
Perfect. All right. So what you do is you say, do you want to role play kind of how you do Misty Step?
Um,
You don't actually do Misty Step, but how you attempt
Okay.
to do Misty Step, to be fair.
oh, that scares me.
Phil.
I look over to the kid and I go, "All right, don't try this." But um, I kind of move my hands around a little and think of where I want to go, which is right next to the door to leave the classroom.
Gotcha. So as you move your hand, what you do is you actually create a fireball of sorts. So you cast basically a fire bolt that shoots through the middle of the classroom and turns into a majestic dragon. The dragon goes and flies directly at Professor Faylir, and instead it explodes into a large amount of fireworks. Everyone is in awe. Obviously, this is a very loud, big bang of sorts. And you see, Faylir doesn't have a lot of hair, but you have singed off a bit of his hair. And he, licks his fingers and goes, El Redeem, what have I said about doing magic? He rolls his eyes and you know what to go. Principal's office. And he writes up a magic slip basically for detention for you. Something that you feel very common that you get all the time. Everybody else is, clapping. They're like celebrating all of this stuff. The kid that was next to you is in shock, and he just, yes, exactly. This is exactly what I wished for. It just happened in my head. It just was perfect. As you again, this isn't your first time, but again, you get kicked out of the classroom and start heading out towards the exit. With your head held at a bit of a shame. But people are celebrating you like you're a king, and if that makes you feel better. As you walk out the door, you notice a tiny little gnome on his butt with a bunch of stuff, kind of metal tools and scrapings and sort of little all sorts of little parts and gears and springs are all kind of just spread about all over him. As another professor is looking at him and goes, for the last time, I don't want your tools. Whatever this is, it's not humane. Please, for the love of God, could you just get out of here? And our lovely gnome, could you describe kind of what's going on? Your character introduces to him a little bit.
All right, so this will be Tydox Truebolt, and he is a gnome artificer. So he is currently trying to persuade this professor to kind of get behind his inventions. He's got a few of the different things that he's very excited about, thinking he's going to be like life-changing, revolutionary. So, and but it's totally humane. Trust me, it's totally like you just okay. So with this one, you've got your yeah, we got this one, and it's like a little missile. You got the magic missile. You can just okay, it just comes out. It's right here. Like he straps it. He'll strap it into his little suspenders because he's a very very old gnome. He's like 269 years old. So his hair is just frazzled out white, and he wears his bandana to kind of keep it from like completely engulfing in flames when he's doing some mechanical stuff. But you could definitely tell, like on the left side, it's more singed than the other side. Like it's definitely uneven. And so he's just okay. So maybe that wasn't it. Maybe you don't want to shoot anything. Maybe you just want to identify something. Maybe you just want to look at it. Okay, so you can see, like, okay, maybe it's magic. You got the magic one. See, like this one. Okay, that's what it would be. You could just know everything you got. You don't need that. Well, then what if so my little helper here, this he looks like a nice little lizard, and this is his like homunculus servant that's been clacking around, and he's made out of some like it's pretty nice. The rest of the other things are kind of just there, and they're not fully done. But this homunculus servant is like nice, polished. It's dark green. It's got some of the wiring is like behind its gills kind of thing. It almost looks like a little it's kind of like a troll, very snub nose, and all of its little claws are different like Torx bits and things. It's got different wrenches, and its tail can come up and split into different splicer wires for you. So it's a very handy tool for this little tinkerer to have.
Yeah, and you see it kind of looks at you, like a dog would, or like a pet, is looking for its next command, but you see him kind of slithering about, and then you see the professor looks at him. Oh God, that's got to be even worse than what I could have even imagined. As he sees the little, lizard slither up to him and breaks into a little bit of pieces and shows him. His eye pops out a little bit, and then he puts it back in, and he's sliding through the arms, and he's like kind of crawling up over the professor. And he goes, oh God, just get it away from me, and he kind of shoos you away. And as you're kind of collecting your things and trinkets, you actually run into Elradine, kind of stumping off your little fit as you're going off.
Doesn't appreciate my things.
Yeah, and Elradine kind of he sees you, or he's kind of looking down at his note. He's kind of ashamed that, again, this is another time that he's gotten kicked out of class. As you guys, classic 90s movie, bump into each other.
Oh God. Okay. because all the things just kind of like start to sprawl all over, and
Yeah.
some
Could
of
you
them
roll
kind
me
of
a
bounce out.
dexterity saving throw, Tydox?
No, he says dexterity. This guy. All right. Oh, 7 minus 1 is
Perfect.
6.
And same with you, Elradim. Could you roll me
Okay.
a dexterity saving throw?
Hmm. I
And for this, you
got,
guys can use real dice or you can use D&D Beyond. It's up to you.
I got 22.
Perfect. So you see one of those wrenches or springs or some sort of tool drops out of Tydox's hands, and it bounces off and stabs him in like the arm or chest. It barely misses you, and then the rest of it scatters all over the floor. You see the little homunculus burst into a bunch of different pieces, and then it zooms back in together.
Pencil step.
In its little, it bursts out into 1,000 pieces, and then it morphs back into the little gecko again, and it starts trying to like pick up all the pieces.
I am so sorry, you little fellow. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. Yes, thank you. I'm fine. My servant's gonna help me with these things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are you okay? You fine?
I'm all right. Are you sure you're okay? You're bleeding.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. That's nothing. That's just what happens sometimes. It's the price we pay.
So I have a question, if I may.
Yeah. Oh, of course, of course. What is this? Is that what you're asking? What the inventions are?
Well, I was wondering, what was the professor saying to you? And yes, I would love to know what these inventions are.
Oh yes. These are my workings, my trinkets. He doesn't quite understand. He thought it was inhumane. He doesn't quite understand. Me and Archie have quite the relationship here. And then I'm still like gathering up the things, trying to make sure that they're in working order.
Your homunculus has like a bunch of springs and stuff, and just a big little. He's like walking on 2 feet. Just
He's got like
walking.
most of it, and I've got
Yeah.
like 1 or 2 little pieces of it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you wanted
So then you see, basically for you, Elradim, you remember they basically have sent you off to the principal, and for you, Tydox, you hear somebody kind of notice. They're like, "Hey, maybe administration or somebody else would like it."
Oh yeah. Maybe. So where were you heading? When were we?
I got kicked out of class, and I gotta go to the principal's office yet again.
Oh, again.
Yeah,
I've been there quite a few times, and that come to think of it, that's actually a great idea. I don't quite remember the way. Do you know the way to get there?
sadly I do. I've been there 4 times already this week.
Yes. Oh well, I mean, we're just gonna make sure that you did. We're just gonna pretend you didn't. So, but these are one of the perfect time for the invention. Okay, so what we do is, and he tries to cast like the spell is gonna be fairy fire,
Mhm.
but in this case, it's flavored in a way that it scans the hallways to tell us where to go, because it's kind of like a projection, almost like an AI. Like you've given it a command, and it's gonna highlight a path for you to go. So like
Yeah.
he
Think
pulls
of
out
your
those.
typical like RPG game. You see like
Yes.
arrows are pointing in like little fires, that are like this way, go this way, this way. Your target on your map is up
Yeah.
here and basically has slinged over to it. And you guys continue on through it, and then Mr. Elradim, do you cast any more magic?
May not be that good of an idea, but I am going to try to cast See Invisibility.
Perfect. Could you roll me a d20?
Yes, I can. I rolled a 3.
Atlanta.
Perfect. So then you basically, what happens? So we want to describe basically how you're trying to detect, see invisibility, maybe an incantation or something of sorts. and I'll tell you what happens.
I pull out a small pouch of powdered silver and I kind of throw it into the air.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. And so you see that, and Mr. Tydox as well. You see this thing go up into the air, and you guys start to see everything spin around you, and you teleport. And to where, we will find out later.
It's like both
As
of us.
we move on,
Ooh.
yeah, both of you guys.
Oh god.
As we move on to the next scene, I don't have to roll for this one, but I'm going to take a drink.
I'm sorry, Ty Duck. I don't know where it's taking us.
he's like, my fairy fire wasn't good enough.
He's like, it's good right here. He's like, okay, cool. Let me see how this works.
Mhm.
We go outside, back to what would be right in front of the castle, the courtyard, and you see a alignment of troops, all a little too young, probably about 18 to 20, very fresh individuals, all kind of standing in rows of 6 to 8 in a perfect square. And you see this small little man approaching as he marches along the side of these troops. Fall in line, maggots. And he spits, and you see one of the recruits jump. Did I tell you to move, maggot? And the recruit scarily stands back and says, sorry, yes, sir. Am I pretty enough to call me sir? And he kicks the guy in the leg. He goes, drop and give me 20. Sorry, Sarge. And he just starts cranking out push-ups. As we go to kind of in the middle of this group, you see 4 recruits who have kind of gathered off. One scoffs, and he's like, I don't know why these guys are so serious. Like, we haven't even had a war in like 50 years. Like, this is, easy, right? And you see another guy pipe up and says, yeah, right. I've just joined the military just for the benefits, really. That's it. I'm just here for fun. I don't know why these guys are so hard on everything that they talk about. And then you hear a third recruit pop up and say, right, I'm only here just because my grandpa, he was in the war. And so I thought I'd be here too, but we're never going to have a war. What's the point? And then we get to the 4th recruit, who's a young, handsome boy who is he's kind of a lot bigger than a lot of these other people. He's a lot toner, a lot stronger. He's got perfectly beautiful blonde hair. Could you describe your character, Shonen?
Yeah, Shonen is a tall, pretty muscular young man. He's about 19 years old. He has gold hair that reaches about his cheekbones. It's a little bit curly and wavy, and he has pretty piercing blue eyes. He's pretty good looking. And so he kind of claps them on the back and he says, oh, yeah, or well now, guys, you guys haven't even thrown a real fight yet, so I guess you'll maybe learn eventually, but yeah, it's not too bad here.
But when are we ever going to get in a fight? That's the whole point of joining the military, is all the fun that we get. And he starts lavishing all the benefits. He gets free food, free, education, all the things that go into joining the military here. And he's like, and the best thing is, I never have to touch a soul. Oh God! And he, tilts back a little bit as you guys are in formation.
Well, now don't get too excited. Sometimes you gotta make your own fights.
What do you even know about fighting? As the first guy scoffs at you.
What do you mean? I've been fighting all my life. The mercenaries taught me very good.
Mercenaries. That's not even a real fight. You guys are cheating.
What do you mean? You ever picked up a chair and bashed it over somebody's head? Now that's a fight. Okay?
And then
None of this swords, none of these armors that you guys have. You just are going at it bare knuckles.
The third recruit basically looks at you wide
Marka.
eyes and is, like, you hit people with chairs, not swords.
No, who uses a sword? You could use a chair, you could use a table, you could use a drink glass. Anything can be a weapon.
By the 9. And then you see her freak out a little bit. And then you hear Sarge in the background. Aye, you 4 front and center, as he yells at you guys for talking. And yeah, you guys start to head off to the front. And he goes, you measly, self-centered mother. And he just starts spitting up all sorts of nonsense and food. And you see a little bit of piece of stuff on his beard. He's got a very long, elegant beard. He's about 3 foot tall as well. So very short, gnomish man. And you see one of the other recruits starts, he sees the piece of food and he's trying everything in him not to laugh.
Well, now, Sarge, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there might be something in your beard.
Oh, and he just sees him, get the rosy cheeks, and he goes, oh, goodness. And, gets stuffed up and he starts cleaning up. He goes,
And Show whispers, don't worry, nobody notices it for me.
And you see the other recruits start laughing behind you. And then he goes, every one of you, drop down. And he starts yelling all sorts of nonsense and commands at you guys. And then, he's a little embarrassed. And you see him, bark all these things. And basically he comes back and after you guys do some push-ups and some all sorts of things, he says, this year, you're in for a special treat. Captain's even gonna come in here and talk to you lazy bums. And this is a real treat because Captain, he's something special. Our Captain here, he looks around and goes, is the most fearsome warrior I ever done seen. Well, now, aren't you guys in for a treat? Because as he starts to finish off all this hyping and you see a towering, horrifying, scary, scaly man walk up. Before you introduce yourself, could you roll me an intimidation check with advantage?
Yeah. All right. First one is 7, and then what is that? Oh, 20.
Perfect. Nat 20?
Nat 20.
New high
Love
score. Did I break it?
Love it. Love it.
What is
As
that?
you approach, could you describe your character? And I'll tell you what happens after you describe him. And before you get into your speech, I'll tell you what happens.
So I'm walking in and he's an imposing figure. He's almost 8 feet tall. He's just almost, if you from a distance, he would look exactly like a dragon. He's walking on by. He's got these silver scales, almost white, and he's got bright amber eyes that are a huge contrast to his scales. He's wearing, armor of the king, and he's got his long blue cloak. He's walking on in full clad iron armor that almost blend in with the scales because they look almost the same. It's just this giant metal, almost dragon that's just walking towards you guys. Just see smoke almost coming out of his mouth, just breathing, just walking towards you guys.
Yeah, so the first recruit who did the push-ups at the very beginning, you see he immediately shits himself. Entirely, his whole pants. You see he's the most embarrassed he's ever looked. You see about 10 other recruits immediately pass out from terror and from fear. You see 3 more immediately leave, and they don't want to be any part of this army of recruit.
And then they're like AWOL.
They drop their swords and they say, "That's it. I'm done. I don't want to be a part of it." And the 4 recruits that are in the center stage, you see, obviously, you see Shonen, who is pretty much unaffected by this, maybe a little intimidated, but
Shonen, you will see instead of having his good grin, probably drops in his mask drops for a minute, and he hits you with this unaffected stare, like he's just kind of like, and then the mask kind of pops back on, and he meets you with a smile again.
yeah. And the other 3 are pale, almost translucent. They are horrified. One of them is shaking so bad. Another one has soiled himself as well. As you approach,
Troops, stand at attention. You think this is some sort of joke? You think the king is investing all this time in you for you to just sit around and make a mockery of this kingdom? We troops are the first and last line of defense, the protectors of this great city. And I'll just take a deep breath. Amanita was attacked last week. Information has been stifled until the investigations are finished. It's rumored that the kingdom of Mycellum was behind the attack. That means that's signifying the end of this 50-year ceasefire. We can't jump to conclusions yet. Ready up, troops. We are the beacons of light of Elysium. Stand tall and fight. And then I look over at Sarge. If you don't get these recruits in line, I'll get you in line.
you see Sarge bounces back up and he runs over and he goes, "Oh, the lot of you, get back in ready. You 4, we're going to show him what our recruits got in common and why we're the best goddamn soldiers this side of the fucking city has ever seen." As he fucking starts just getting crazy. And he sends Shonen and those 3 other recruits off to an obstacle course. For you, Shonen, essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to have you roll 3 different athletic checks. They're progressively going to get harder. Depending on what you roll, by the end of those 3 will determine what happens. So go ahead and roll 3 athletics checks.
So the first one I got a 14 plus 6, so 20.
Jesus.
The second one I got a 9 plus 6, so 15.
Okay.
And then the last one I got a 3 plus 6, so a 9.
Okay, perfect. So you come off barreling through essentially what it looks like is a rope course. It is, you have to like hop through a bunch of ropes. You are swinging through this thing like it is no business. You are way out in front. You are crushing it. You go and hop onto a rope ladder, basically that like a swinging rope vine that goes over this huge mud pit. And again, you are well off and in front. About the midway point through this obstacle course, you get to a part where you have to climb up and then you climb back down this thing and you kind of struggle a little bit on it, but not too bad. And then you get to a part where you basically have to sling up a bunch of sand bags and you got to run straight through. And so you are running as fast as humanly possible. And as you're going, your boots rip off your feet. And so now you're about barefoot, except for, have you ever seen those Crocs that are not in athletic mode, but then have like ran through the bottom? That is essentially what has happened. Your boots have shifted up into your thing. You trip a little bit. You're very strong. So these sandbags aren't very heavy to you, but the distribution weight that you have with your feet feel a bit funky and you crash into the starting or the finish line. And the finish line is basically right in front of Captain Urt. So boots rip, you slam into the finish line and run into Captain Urt himself.
I think Sho is on the ground, kind of gathering himself, trying to stand back up.
And so what I'm going to do is, can I pick up Shonen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go pick up Shonen, and basically just put him on his feet. And I'm not actually like lifting him off the ground. I'm just putting him on his feet. He might be like on his tippy toes a little bit. I'm like, pathetic. I see the mercenaries didn't teach you much. And then I push him away.
Perfect.
Well, Captain, if only you would get us a little bit better gear, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
How about you prove
At least
yourself
some-
to me? Prove you need that better gear, because right now, a lot of all of you are gonna die in combat in the first hour.
At least the mercenaries kept me clothed.
Yeah, and Shonen, could you roll me a performance check with advantage as well?
So 11, and that one was at 20.
Perfect. So what happens is Sarge runs up to you. He goes, "Oh my goodness, she done passed the fucking world record. That's the course record." And you see him start freaking out as it's going out. You see the other recruits have finished, and the first one that spoke up in your group, he basically scoffs again. He's like, you know, it was my record, and he just is like upset. He finishes like 10, 15 seconds behind you, like slow enough, and he has
Don't worry, buddy. You'll get it next time.
and he just scoffs and throws down the sandbags. And Sarge he's so happy, and he's just, "Captain, she broke the course record. She broke the course record." And he's like freaking out, going crazy on this.
Calm yourself, Sarge. It's not
We-
that cool.
But Captain, you know what that means. You gotta. Well, and he kind of looks at Shonen and then comes over, and you're a fucking giant compared to him. So he like, tugs on your pants to like bend down to him, and then so that he can whisper.
Yeah.
Oh no, to Captain, or he
Okay.
pulls on his jacket to get him to bend down to him.
And then so I'll go ahead and slowly but methodically lean down to him. What?
Captain, he's got to go to your office. He gets a special sparring session with you in your office.
Rules.
And remember the boots that we were going to give him?
Shonen, with me.
Aye, sir.
Yeah. And then you guys continue on to the captain's quarters. As you guys are walking, do you guys want to say or role play or do anything?
I'm just slowly walking by. I'm not gonna say much. I'm just keep walking, and just if Shonen does anything, I'll respond. But I'm not doing anything.
Shonen would be walking. He would show deference and be walking like behind him to the right, following behind respectfully.
Yeah.
Perfect. As you guys are quietly walking up, can you guys both roll a perception check for me?
Yes. Perception plus.
15 minus 2, a 13.
I got 10.
Perfect. So as you guys are walking up,
Watch out, Ert goes off camera to read his dice.
Well, I can't see it. It's too dark.
so you guys go and basically, as you're walking up, you're going throughout the castle, and you notice that it doesn't dawn on you right away.
Both of us
but,
notice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Shonen, you notice first. It's kind of weird. There's no guards. There's nobody around. There's no people. There's no soldiers. There's nothing. And then it hits you that there's literally nobody defending the castle. As you continue going up, you hear, and then nothing.
Was it from behind us, or where was it at?
In front of you.
It was in front of us?
Yeah.
I'm still going to be walking, but I'm going to pick up my pace a little bit because, I'm stoic, so I'm just fast to recruit, and we're just going to keep walking towards it to kind of find out what the noise is. And since I noticed that there's no real guards, I'm just kind of keeping it in my head, but I'm thinking, where is everyone? And I'm just going to keep going forward and going ahead.
Absolutely.
Cho would have been like, "Hey, now, Captain, did we have everybody down there doing drills?" As he's like hurrying around after him, also noticing that nobody is out, basically.
And I'm just going to respond, no.
Yeah. As you guys continue to run and get closer and closer, so the captain's quarters are right next to the king's throne. You see the central door basically is jarred open just a little bit.
And so obviously I'm taking the lead. I'm going through there. And then I'm like, and I was like, stay close to Shonen. And then I'm going to go through the door, and then I'm going to open up the door in kind of a little bit forceful to kind of see what's going through. And then I'll kind of go through the doors.
Perfect. As you open the door, we go to Mr. Randman and Raven. You guys have made it to the kitchen. And that's weird because there's no servants. There's no guests. There's no... You were supposed to drop off drinks for a large celebration, Mr. Raven. And Randman, you were supposed to deliver the vegetables to the same place, but this is where they would get the food to serve for the orphanage. But there's nobody here to suggest anything or to get you anything.
Randman, where's your prop donkey? just
I'll break it next time. What am I gonna do with the body? What am I gonna do with this donkey?
Mm-hmm.
Take it along the whole entire adventure.
Seems,
The donkey's just in like the dining hall with him right
Yes.
behind him.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
100%. He's in the kitchen with them, and he's
He's
just
still got the
chilling.
card too. He still
I
has the card on him.
Yeah.
Monkey's just chewing on some kale, just vibing.
He was
Those are
like,
some
why did we
wild
come here?"
yeah. A little quiet in here for a party, eh?
Where's all the orphans? I was told there'd be orphans.
I don't think we have a human, let alone an orphan.
Yeah, and you guys again hear a noise.
Did you hear that, mate?
Sounded like someone clapping their hands.
Sounds like we might be in the wrong room. But I don't know how much longer I want to carry this stuff around for.
Yeah, these doorways are getting a little narrow for my donkey.
Yeah, you might have to park him in the hallway and to begin. We can carry on down the hallway.
Okay, so you guys carry on through the. You see is a door is ajar at the end of the hallway to this kitchen. This thing, it's open just a slight bit.
Do we see any light coming out of it or anything?
It is dark, very dark in there, but it is morning, so there is some sunlight that has come in. So there's like just a little bit, but it's eerily dark, especially for what you would assume would be a room that is very lit up.
Well, do you think we're early to this place?
Well, seems like someone forgot to turn the lights on.
Maybe we can go drop this stuff off in the radishes or turnips. What do you haul it?
Ramman's not getting out of here until he gets paid.
Maybe we can look around for like an envelope. Maybe they left it for us.
All right. Guess
Yeah.
can we,
As you guys approach the door, do you guys enter?
I vote yes.
Yeah.
So you guys walk in, and what you see is a gnome and a Samir, a human with angel wings, is what you would probably assume, has popped up right then and there as a door bursts open, and you see a gigantic dragon rush in with a small human appearing. As you guys all kind of intertwine at the same time to a horrific scene. As you guys look around, you notice that again it's dark in this room with a little bit of sunlight that is sprinkled into this thing. But the scene is as clear as day. You notice a person who is eviscerated, has insides on the outside, his head completely chopped off. He's sprawled up in a crucifix, slinged into his throne. Every one of you guys recognizes this person is the king.
First
I
what would probably happen is we poof in there. Tynox is like, it just sprawls all over the place. He's like trying to shuffle his things together.
I'm shocked. I drop my guard for a second and I run closer. King Leo! And then I just kind of get closer and I'm just kind of staring. I'm like, my friend is just, this is a corpse. And I'm just looking at what happened. I don't even realize that there's other people behind me, that I don't notice the two other people. I'm just kind of staring.
Show, I think, would be like kind of standing back, still looking at it. But instead of being like horrified, he would be kind of like whistling and being like, "Whoa, now that's something else."
Yeah. I'm going to need you, Shonen, to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Okay. A Constitution saving throw. Okay, I'll use. The first one was 15, and the second one was 23.
Cool. You fight off your rage and your anger and any sort of emotion that would have popped up or been there for seeing this.
Okay.
The rest of you guys, how do you react to this truly horrific scene?
Well, you look like you're all doing something very important. I'm just here to drop off the booze, and I'll be out of your way.
And then I'm going to turn around immediately. Stay! And then you come here. You come here. And I'm just gathering everyone here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then I don't, because it's going to be, because I have everyone here right now, right?
Yeah. Everyone is here in this moment. This is what you guys have stumbled upon.
Shuddering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two of them have literally popped into existence.
Yeah.
In here.
front of you
It's just
guys.
like, I don't know.
I'm
Words
basically,
are
I'm
different.
gathering everyone, and then I'm shoving everyone outside the room right now. I'm basically, get out.
All right.
And then I'm
As
closing the
you-
door immediately right behind us.
So
Get
as you
out.
are going to shove everybody outside, hundreds of guards appear, and they see you guys, and they see this scene. And Sarge is there. Your actual commander is there as well. So the only person who outranks you is there, and he is mortified at this scene. And he sees blood all over your hands.
Yeah, because I was up there like, yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, Captain, how could you do this? That's our king. As some of the guards are shocked by this figure who's covered in blood and, this horrifying scene that is unfolded. And
I don't have a weapon on me, right?
you have a sword.
You had your
Okay.
sword.
Yeah, that's what I'm not, I'm just curious. I'm like, what is the meaning of this? The king is dead. Are you accusing me?
It just, you have all this blood all over you. We have to have a proper trial. And the commander looks at you and he spits and goes, I had faith in you, Captain. and they knock you guys all out immediately.
I'm gonna go with him, but
Shield.
yeah, right. I'm just like, I will go willingly. Do not touch me, because I believe in the system.
Yeah, absolutely. So they start capturing you guys all, and they throw you guys into jail.
Ain't nobody knocking me out.
Yeah, so you walk willingly. You know where to go. They still have to tie a few things of rope around your hand, and most of the troops that know you intimately are completely disappointed and horrified at this situation. And so you guys find yourselves in a 6 individual jail cells, all awaiting judgment.
Are the jail cells close to each other? Like, are they?
Yep.
Can we see? Are they all like
You guys
right
can,
next
you
to
can
each
all
other?
see each other. You guys are all in one basic room together. There's 3 up top, 3 at the bottom, and essentially you guys are all each an individual 10, like a it's like a 10. It's a box of 10-foot square, basically, with enough room to have like a small bed. But for you, especially Captain Hurt, it's not a lot of room.
Yeah.
I got a whole
Show,
gymnasium over here.
yeah, he's kind of on the bars. Show wakes up and he's kind of leans against the bar and he notices the others waking up and he kind of like, well, now we've gotten ourselves into quite the mess, haven't we?
We? Wait. I've done nothing.
I haven't done anything either.
I wake up and just go, anyone seen me ass?
Ain't no donkeys here, boy.
She gets too hungry, she starts eating the produce.
I think you
waited this whole
better
time.
I just took a drink and I was spitting all out.
This is perfectly timed.
It's so funny. Yeah, and basically you guys are in this jail cells. You hear murmuring in the background, but essentially you guys are here waiting for judgment.
Can we hear any of the murmuring?
You can hear that they are murmuring.
Okay. Or I was just say, can you make out what they're saying?
You can hear basically, like, you especially would probably hear that they're basically like, I can't believe that like the king is dead, that you had done this, and you're their fearless leader, you're the such a high-ranking member in this army, and there's all these rumors now going on that you guys killed the king.
Yeah.
I've been
kind of
Pull a wine key out of my pocket and cut the rope enough to get one hand free, and I slip and grab a flask from my boot and take a swig. Oil, do y'all fancy a drink?
If only I could get these ropes undone, I would gladly take you up, sir.
I could splash it in your face.
I'll take that. Yes.
Take that.
Oh, that's pretty good stuff. Show Alexis like on a mouth.
Rooting myself.
You've got quite the talent, sir. What's your name?
My name's Raven Falcor.
Raven Falcor. Well, I guess if we're all going to the gallows together, we better know each other's names.
Well, if I don't get back to the bar, my boss is gonna kill me.
Either way.
I got shifts to run.
I think something else is gonna kill you first.
The trick is I got a second one of these, and I'll just offer it to the executioner.
Bribes always work pretty well. Hey now, Captain Urt, I ain't the brightest, but what the hell did you do to piss somebody off to accuse you of this? Because I know that I was with you basically that whole afternoon walking up, and there was no way you had the chance to murder him. So, who do you think's trying to frame you?
I'm just kind of like, Kind of staring at Shonen. I don't know. I don't know. Boy. No.
Taddox would have taken his glasses off. And can we cast magic in here?
Yeah,
From
can we?
Texas?
So you have no equipment at this point. So there's nothing. Even your homunculus has found a way to bury himself inside you to come out. It's the only kind of viable thing that you have. So because your magic simply comes from a lot of
The
your
tools.
doohickeys, your tools, the only one who really has any sort of magic would be Elradim. And I guess sort
Which
of
is
Raven.
vastly reliable, as we've all noted.
Yeah.
Just why don't you just cast Identify again and poof us all out of here? No, so Tydox would probably take like his glasses, just kind of, and like I imagine that since he's so small and frail, he's like very thin. They used like the tiniest of shoelaces, so
Absolutely.
it takes like absolutely nothing for him to just like, all right,
Yep.
and then he just casts mending on his glasses and puts them back up, so that he's just like, okay,
Yeah.
ready to do it.
I'm just kind of like,
I wanted to see what was the. Would I be able to cast a, like, do a history check to basically think of any person that's MO is what we saw, like eviscerations so brutal.
Hmm. Yeah. Roll me
See
a
if
history
we
check.
can. Okay. Hell yeah! Ooh. So D&D Beyond has treated me way better. That's a 24.
Perfect. So you rolled a 24 on history. Essentially, there's been a lot. I mean, we're in a fantasy land. There's a lot of people who have been murdered, have been killed like this. You don't recall anybody who has done this and who has been bold enough to try something like this. You do remember, however, that there's some sort of mystery or war behind Mycelium, that they've gathered people together to try to assassinate people. You know that you recall that there's been a lot of like attempts maybe that have happened. All have failed. And so it seems pretty clear or likely that it might be Mycelium or one of you guys' other enemies being Roggenheim.
So at least they're gonna do it quick with the gallows, like instead of the Mycelians. That seems quite awful what they did to our king. Do we think it's them? It's gotta be them, right? It was none of us.
Did I get like a good look at the scene? Like, do I recall a good look, like some of the wounds? What
So
who
I'll
I
say,
think could have caused it?
go ahead and roll an investigation with disadvantage.
Okay, I'll do.
You're pretty distraught, so
Yeah, probably
you know,
didn't.
You probably wouldn't have gotten a clear look, but and Ramman, if you chose to look around, I'll give you you can roll investigation or perception with it as well.
12 and 9, but that's without my modifiers. So my investigation is
13.
so 10. No, right? 10.
So 12. Oh, disadvantage.
Yeah, disadvantage. So 10.
And then, Rain, I don't know if you chose to look around in the brief moments that you were in this scene.
That's a question.
Yeah.
I would definitely ask. I would probably look over to the gnome and the Aesimer. I'm like, gnome, Aesimer, why were you guys in the king's quarters?
It's a fantastic question, actually. Can we explain how that happened?
So I didn't try to do that, but I was just trying to look at something, and next thing I knew, we were in the room when you guys showed up.
Well,
Half elf, dwarf, and you, explain yourselves.
just bring in the booze. Order from the boss.
I was told I could come here and sell off all my beats. Be hearty beats.
What a
He's got a donkey too. I don't know if he was planning on selling that off too.
I do. Well,
it's just sell the donkey.
I have a
He magic written all over it. It was
No.
definitely the donkey.
You guys foiled my plan. It was the donkey the whole time.
So I have a question about the jail cell.
hmm
Is there any
Mhm.
copper in it?
Yeah, absolutely. The bars are made out of a rusted copper, so it's a greenish orange.
That'll work. I put my hand on the copper.
That'll work.
Okay. And I point at the captain. And I try, and I say try, to cast message.
Cool. Roll a
This-
d20.
Okay. Please work. Please.
Shane, I think we would see him do
Oh.
Hydox.
That's
doing this.
not.
He would just be
Nicely
like,
done.
he would wince as he's just like,
So you point, and what do you say when you're casting message?
If it works, I say, you and I don't belong in here. We need to get out of here and help the rest of these guys out of here as well.
Okay, so everything you just said was actually spoken in the loudest possible voice. It booms throughout your voice, casting a thaumaturgy of sorts.
thaumaturgy.
And you fucking beam through the thing. It actually, could everyone roll me a constitution saving throw?
Yep.
Hells yes, I can actually.
Ooh, 16.
I'm gonna
I
use the
got,
middle one.
I got 22.
I got 20.
I got
Do you
10.
do you do plus 3
Oh,
on
yeah.
the
It's yours will be plus 3.
Okay, so then 19.
Man, my roll.
Okay.
I got 7.
So anybody
Oh, man.
above a
Me-
12?
Yes.
Above 12.
Who was above
raise-
12?
Yeah, above 12, raise your hand. Okay, if you were not above 12, roll me a d4.
Ouch.
Boy.
Boy.
Oh,
4.
Okay,
Again.
2.
so you take 4 and 2 damage.
And just to be clear, you were trying to say that to me, right? Because you said the captain.
So a
Yeah.
message is like inside your head. So he goes to the point and basically says this thing, but
Mhm.
instead of what he assumes is in your head, fucking yells throughout the entire echoes, and it bursts a little bit of your eardrums, Raven and Randman. It is like a flash grenade or a stun grenade, basically. Or a concussion, actually. So like you're shocked a little bit. Your ears are. And you're like, Jesus, like, why the fuck did that happen, basically? And then you see a guard come through, and he basically kicks open the door and he goes, "Shut up, the lot of you king slayers!" And screams at you guys as he, as this happens.
ASMR, you need to work on tuning that. That was loud.
trying. I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that god might have been way louder.
Is the guard still in the
You
room?
have a point.
He has started to leave at this point.
Guard, come here.
Captain, why you got to do us like this?
Is this the Sarge or just a random guard?
This is a random guard.
Okay. You really think I'm capable of hurting the king? I've served him loyally for 50 years.
It's why we're all shocked at this news.
Have you found any updates? What's going on? We've been in the cell for hours.
They got the executioner. That's all I know. And you start seeing that tear because he's deeply saddened by this.
And then I'm thinking, he's just kind of crying, right?
Yeah.
And then I hear the executioner, "Come here, guard."
And then, he gets closer to you. He definitely has his keys on him as well.
Okay. And then so does he happen to get close enough to like for me to reach and grab him?
Absolutely.
Oh god.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna grab him and then basically pull him through and like pull enough so that way his head slams
Yep.
the guardrail, and then I'm gonna grab his keys.
Yeah, he gets knocked out immediately.
Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and unlock the doors, and I'm like, 1, 2, the 5 of you, you're coming with me quietly.
Yeah.
And then so I'm gonna start unlocking all of them, unlock all the cage, all the cells to everyone, and then that way we can quietly start leaving. But I don't really know like what everything looks like
Yeah.
yet.
So essentially, it's a room. I can share it on my thing. We'll put it up.
Show is
And-
gonna walk to Raven and take a pull from his flask.
Depending
There
on
you go.
what happens next. Hopefully
I'm
this
just kind of
works
staring at you
correctly.
guys. Just
Okay, so if you pull up my screen, essentially you guys are in this room right here. If you can see my cursor.
Mhm.
Okay, you have a long hallway, and then you hear murmuring in here.
Okay.
You guys have all been in these little things, and then the guard is passed out, basically right there. So this is kind of the scene that you're looking at.
Okay.
Um,
Have we made enough noise that anybody else can hear us?
you don't notice yet.
Okay. Who's the smallest out of everyone here?
Would be Tydox for sure.
Okay. So then I'm kind of like reluctantly staring at Tydox. I'm like, Gnome, I need you to listen.
Yes.
Listen, how many guards are in that other room? Find out what's going on. We need to leave this place at once. Can you do that? Are you capable of that? If not, we can have somebody else do it. But seeing as you're the smallest,
to go sneak somewhere?
I need you to investigate.
Would
Find an exit.
Cap, he doesn't look to be the most dexterous of us. He looks a little clumsy. If we want somebody to sneak, it might be me.
because I have the servant on me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see your servant has, so once you've gone down, your servant kind of peeks through your shirt and
Oh, he still
stares at
has
you.
it. Oh, cool.
So let me pull up the little fella's.
A little feller.
Little
Is
fella.
that the little eyeball monster, little cute one?
No, this is a
Aw.
lizard. This is my little lizard.
Little lizard.
She described them.
So I,
You're listening.
a lizard.
Little lizard.
So it's not. I mean, he could go through and investigate a little bit, but it's probably not going to be great. He has a +4 to stealth, but I think it scales off of my things. Oh no, it's got its own.
It should have its own.
Yeah, it does have its own. So he actually wouldn't be terrible. We can send. So that's what I will tell him to do. So I'll send Archie out and be like, I am not going. That is not suited for me. But my Archie can go. He will happily help us out. And you see Archie just like give the nods.
nod.
He's like,
He gives you the nod.
Oh, we're getting a message from.
Sorry, I was getting a call from, I don't know why my work phone was calling.
Say a message from the king, but
Yeah, I'd say. Is that
I was
Jim?
trying to figure out. I was so confused. I was trying to figure out what the hell is happening. And I this is my office for work, and I'm charging my work phone for tomorrow.
I thought it was maybe like it's like Archie is like putting you on hold. Please wait as I'm
I
going
know.
to go do
Fucking
this
going
thing.
off. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Archie's
Surprise
downloading an
reasons.
update. Yeah.
Yeah, my customers
Go.
was calling at 8:30 on a Sunday. I was like, I'm not answering that shit, dude. So I just ignored it. My bad. I take that. So what happens? Your homunculus, Archie, he looks at you, gives you the nod. He gives you a little salute, and he crawls through the thing. I'll roll for him just to help you out, and then
15 dexterity.
he scrolls
Oh, you have
back. Yeah, I have So he comes back and he looks over, and with his tail, he basically writes out that there's about 4 to 5 guards in there, or 4 to 5 people, rather.
4 to 5 people in there.
He
Okay.
doesn't really can't really understand guards.
He doesn't know the
versus-
difference. Yeah. he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Out of
"Doesn't
out of
work, Archie. So there's 4. There's about 4, 5. I think. Oh, let's just round up and say 5 for precaution's sake. 5. That's what we have. That seems fair. And you look strong. Looking at Shonen, you could probably take 2, 3 of them by yourself. And Ert, you. Yeah. Why do you even need us?
These are my people. I wish to avoid fighting if we can help it.
Oh, me too.
Oh, I will gladly fight them. Don't worry, Gnome. I'll pick up on yours for you.
Been in a few bar fights myself, mate, so I can hold my own.
I'm just like, I will fight if I must, but I'd rather not.
Give me a
Yeah.
slingshot. Just give me a slingshot any day, and I can fight with the best of them.
I love it.
Show
Yeah.
slaps him on the back and he says, "That's the attitude."
Yeah. Do you guys head into this hall? The next hallway, basically. So this is the
See.
hallway into this room.
Yeah, Tedox is definitely not making the first move. He
Yeah.
is heavily
Shut-
behind.
I think
Show would
giving
be
you an
willing to go first.
Cool. So
I'm
you said
definitely
Show.
want to go last because I'm like keeping an eye on everything.
Cool. Show goes first. Is that what you said?
Mhm.
Okay. So give me the order one more time. Show.
I'll go second. Why not?
So we
Show.
can
third.
roll initiative to see.
If
The order.
you depend, we'll do initiative here in a second
Gotcha.
if things escalate.
If. Y'all hear that? If.
If
Let's just keep our wits about us, okay? There.
So you guys walk in. Show you notice first that there's about 3 really big guards, and then there's 2 smaller guards. One of them kind of looks like he's more of just like a houseboy than he is a guard. So 4 real guards, 1 guy who's basically just there cleaning up. He has no armor on. He's got a broom in his hand. As you walk in, what do you try to do? Do you try to do anything special? Do you say anything? Do you announce your presence?
I think Show would be as quietly as possible, walking slowly, like with his hand back, telling them to keep slow, and then he stops at the door. And I think, if possible, I think he would try to like stealth out of the building. Basically, like maybe go behind the bar to escape and go over.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Show, could you roll me since everyone's kind of helping you, we'll make the roll based off of you. So could you roll me a stealth with advantage?
That's a 16 plus 3, 19.
Oh, perfect. So you and the
that's my
group
boy.
are undetected. You slide underneath the back of it as this guy's sweeping. He kind of turns his shoulders, and you guys kind of have made your way, behind the bar at this point. You see that the 3 guards are basically right here at this table. The guy sweeping is essentially right here in front of the bear mat. And then the other smaller guard has been leaning this way, but he's been kind of like asleep, not really paying attention, like kind of leaning back like this, nodding his head. So
Okay,
to
so-
clarify, one guy, 3 guys right here.
3 guys there, and we're like behind the bar, and the
And you
only
guys are
exit
right here.
is right there.
Yep.
I think what I would then try to do is, I think I would start by picking up. Do I know your name is Tydox yet? I don't think so. I would pick up the gnome and try to like put him over the bar to be like, okay, you're going first over. I think you're gonna have a hard time climbing over this. basically trying to like be like, let's like move along this way, basically.
Saving me from the dexterity save that I would not make.
Uh-huh.
So you want to go over this essentially to get to this way, just to clarify.
Which is
there-
gonna feel not good.
Okay.
Well,
Unless there's a
actually-
little underneath thing.
Yeah,
Unless
I was
there's
like,
like
is
a
there an under?
There it goes. There is. Yeah, it'll go here. It's one of those things that climbs up and
Yeah, you
is
can
on the
lift it up.
side that you can
Yeah.
lift up. So there is a bit of a space in there for people. It's probably about the height of Tydox. He's probably the only one that'd be able to kind of walk underneath it. Everyone
Perfect.
else would have to crawl.
Oh, saves
Captain
this
Earth,
guy.
you would have to hop over.
Yeah, I probably have to like hop and run. Who?
Well, you're in the back, so that's
Yeah.
So just let me know how you guys want to approach that, and then I will role play whatever happens.
Can I whisper? Can I just kind of whisper to Shonen real quick?
Mhm.
I'm like Shonen, mirror boy. No.
Shonen like goes to him, yeah.
I don't see this ending well. What I'll need you to do is get everyone through. I'll be the last to go. Gather everyone around, and we'll have a meetup location. We may have to make a run for it. I'm much too big to be able to sneak past this, but I'll do my best. Take charge if I'm not able to make it.
All right, sir. Whatever you want to do. And I think Sho then goes back, and I think he would usher Tydox to go underneath first to get him out of the way.
Tydox would reluctantly go first, but since it's like it's not like he's gonna climb anything. It's like here, and he's like, all right, just you know.
I think he's just like
Cuddles
straight up kind of
along.
pushing you like underneath it, like Sho's like getting
So
the
what's-
shuffleboard ready to like scoot you out there.
Yeah.
What-
Okay.
he's out once he's like there. He's like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
Perfect. Can we make one more stealth check?
Oh,
Me or
Yep.
Who?
Typhoon?
It would be you.
Me? I got it's only a 12 total.
Perfect. All right. And so
I pray it's not me.
you 5 get past the bar. Captain, or what do you do? Gotten past. No one really has noticed them.
am I able to? Can I tell that they've kind of made it clear that they're kind of good?
Yeah, yeah. So they
I-
have kind of made it essentially here.
Oh, hold on one sec. They made it where? And that's the door,
Um,
right?
Yeah, the door. They made
Okay.
it right there.
Is the door open? Like, are they able to walk out?
They will have to wait till whatever happens for you, but yes, it's essentially in terms of combat. So it's taking you guys about 6 seconds to make it to that spot.
Okay. To be honest, I would probably wait until they like leave. I want to be like very last, and I will basically try to sneak out. If they don't, then I can block the path if I need to. Is that?
Okay,
Can I do that?
sure. So you are awaiting them.
Mhm. Yes.
Can I do something before that all that happens?
hmm
You can try.
Yeah, I could try.
Most certainly try.
We saw what happened last time.
And then time before that.
And something I forgot to mention for you, Al, that's on me. Add your
Mhm.
spell modifier to this. So you should have like a plus.
Okay. Yeah, plus
Anytime you
6.
do your 20, roll that.
Okay.
Every time Elle just moves, Tydox is like, God.
So there's a spell called knock.
hmm
I want to use that, but as like a sound. So the guards go move into that.
Cool. Roll me a d20.
Okay. I got a 7.
Lord.
7 plus
You're having a
your
bad
spell
night.
modifier.
No, it was a nat 1 plus
Oh,
Was it
7.
nat?
God.
That one.
Everyone-
Will you roll me a d10?
Yep.
Please don't be near him. Please don't be near him.
How many guards do we wake up once through
I got a
10?
5.
Perfect. You shrink to about 2 foot tall.
Nice.
How are there so many halflings in this party now?
So he
Alright.
goes from about 6 foot to like 2 feet, just very tiny as he goes to move his hands. How do you go to cast knock? And I'll kind of role play what happens as you,
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
and then I'll have to roll something else.
Knock is. There it is. Oh, it doesn't really say. Is there like any pebbles or anything here, or is it like a tightly kept area?
Yeah. Well, you see a guy sweeping, but I mean, this is a military, so it's kind of tight. But yeah, there are some pebbles, some rocks in the area.
Okay. I go to pick up like 3 to 4 small pebbles, and I try to throw it up against the back wall.
Gotcha. So as you begin to throw it, that's when you start seeing that this pebble becomes a large rock in your hand. And you look at it and you're like, what the? And then it's now too heavy for you to throw, especially 3 of them in your hands. Have become- well, yeah. You drop one of them, however, and
fun.
one of the guards does look over your guys' way, but he does not see anyone. He rolled really low. But and you guys, especially because you guys are like in the kind of view, but he kind of turns and is like, "Oh, you know, must have been the air or the wind or something." You know.
So is our like would because we're by the doorway now, would opening the door make some sort of like noise or anything, or are we like basically just like ushering out of the building?
It would make some sort of noise for sure.
Okay.
But I'll roll to see how well they like hear it and stuff.
So
Do you attempt to open the door?
before we
Mwah.
do that, just to this, since we're in a military complex, this looks to be a rather old door. So to kind of not, I don't have any of my tools to actually grease it or anything, but I will cast mending on this door. So it is like in the most tip top pristine condition it has ever been. It is like a brand new door now, and hopefully it doesn't make a like ear splitting squeak as we open this door.
Perfect.
Because Tydox is like, I can't
love it.
sneak for shit, but I can help everything else be quiet. So
Do you try to open the door?
I would definitely let Shonen open the door. I would just kind of like
I think
use a fiddle with it a little
what
bit. and then-
yeah, Tydox is doing that. I think I would go like over to Raven and be like, "Get that halflings out here, and I'm gonna cover the rear."
I'll do my best. See what I can do.
Cool. And so
Mhm.
as you try to open the door and sneak your way through, mending definitely, I'll tell you, helped. They rolled an 18 and then a natural 1 for disadvantage. So you guys
Yeah,
have
baby.
opened the door perfectly. There's no sound. No one notices. These guards are all kind of clueless, you know, not really paying attention. Should be on high alert because their team just died, but they're freaking lazy.
And this whole
They're
party
just
of like
sad.
brings a
They've just been
sharp
drinking and
person.
sad.
What's those guys from earlier? It's the guys from earlier
Emperor's
who
new
were just like
groove
talking.
busted out of here.
Yeah,
Boom,
exactly.
baby.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like we did it. Clears one
So-
room stealthily.
The 4 of you have now begun walking out into a dark hallway with very little lights that have gone through. I think some of you have dark vision. You can see a little bit, okay, but it's dark, okay? And then, do you follow them in the back or do you stay to help the captain?
I think I would follow his orders because he told me to get him out of there. So I would stay with the party, and I think I would let Raven in the front because
Cool.
I'm not sure if I would know that, but I assume he would have like dark vision, and I can't see shit basically because it's dark.
Yeah, half elf.
Yeah, I mean, you would see it a little bit in front of you, but not very far. It's probably 5 to 10
Mhm.
feet in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm also
Raven, you can
taller
see
than
60
everyone.
feet. Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the-
it's like it's basically
Yeah.
like we're
Yeah.
two
Easily.
bookends between
Than
all
you.
of these.
The 3 tiny little beings
Yeah.
there as they continue walking. And so you guys walk a little bit ahead. You shut the door as you tend to leave.
Oh, shut the
Leave it
door.
Open for Captain.
We.
It's still a mended door. You'll be fine.
I was gonna say you could slam that
I
bitch
said,
and fix
dude,
the
I,
hell out
Yeah.
of it.
Shut it.
I close it gently on him and I'm about like, "Ah, Captain."
Yeah.
Captain, you have just seen
Ah,
your
yep.
5 people have now left you. You can tell that they have gone. What do you want to do now?
Do you
If
do
I do command it, do I have to like yell it, or can I kind of whisper it?
You can whisper it. I'll say this time.
Okay.
Most of, you don't have to yell it, but you do have to say it in an authoritative way.
Yeah.
So if you can do that in a whisper, I'll allow it.
Because I kind of want to do like it, because the target has to move away from me if I use flee, so I can use it as a distraction to get through the door,
Okay,
and that's kind of what I want to do.
perfect. So who do you cast this on?
I'm assuming it would be the king, or it would be one of the guards that's closest to me.
So there's
And-
3 that are essentially at this table.
Uh huh.
There's a guy right there, and there's a guy right there.
I'd probably do it on one of the guys that's closest to the table, and if he's moving away from me, he's gonna have to move basically in any other direction besides the
Gotcha.
door.
Okay. How is command? Does it use a spell slot?
Yes, it does use a spell slot.
Okay, I'm just gonna double check. Purple, everything else is fine. So you cast flee. Is that what you said?
Yeah. And I go.
And they roll a.
Then you do a wisdom saving of 13.
Okay, I'm gonna do it for all of them.
I think it's only for one creature though.
Did it say just one?
Yeah, it's only to a creature.
Okay, that sucks for you. Sorry. First one rolled a 19. Sorry. The other 2 rolled very low.
Okay. Sucks to
So-
suck.
That sucks. My bad.
No, you're
First
good.
one does not move, but he does recognize that a command has been made.
Made.
And he turns around and he sees you.
Well, it's go time.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna need you to roll initiative.
okay. I was
Unless
gonna
you
say
can find a way to talk your way out of it.
the only thing I can think of is unless I don't think I can cast I don't think so.
Isn't your intimidation super high? Can't you just like
Well, I
scream
don't-
at him?
Does it work that way though? Can I do that? I don't know if it.
If you want to
Perform a
cast your
rousing
telling
intimidation,
me
Sure.
that these guys that are just chilling didn't notice us escape would stand up to the captain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
well, they notice that something they have been some sort of
Yeah.
magic or thing
Okay.
has been. So they've turned
Right.
around to basically raise their swords. So
Okay.
that's
You
why I said you have
Totally
one
intimidate them.
move
Okay.
or free action basically to do before rolling initiative. So if you want to roll intimidation, absolutely you can roll.
Then okay, then I would like to do that. I didn't know I could do that, so I would like to roll intimidation to do that. So
Speech.
speech. No, I got
Give
an
us a
idea.
speech. Give us
Oh.
no. Give us a speech.
No, I will. But I just rolled a 15 plus 5, so I got 20.
Perfect.
See?
I'm gonna roll there.
Golden.
Roll
I don't know why I
something.
did that one, but regardless,
Perfect.
I like clicking buttons.
Okay, so what do you say to try to intimidate them?
So
I'll
they
tell you
haven't
what
noticed me
happens.
yet. I'm so technically behind the bars. So what I'm
Yeah.
gonna do is I'm basically going to because it's like the little flap. I'm basically gonna hop up, slam it right across, and be like, I'm gonna pop up and be like, I've escaped my cell. If you come near me, I will kill every single one and feed you your own hearts like I did the king.
Oh God, he played into it.
I love it. They rolled a nat 2 or a nat 2, so that's what they did. Not nat 1, a nat 2. So they all drop their weapons and they're like, "Hey man, I don't even like this job. I'm just here for the benefits. We haven't had I haven't really fought anybody the entire time I've been here." One of the other guys tries to stand up and like say something, and then
I'm just gonna look at him.
the thing comes back and he's like, did he say he fed him his whole heart? And he puts the sword back and he's like, "I don't want to deal with this." And they all just turn their eyes away, basically, as you go to escape.
And then I'm just walking out menacingly.
You walk up. You're a little behind them, but you do see Show kind of a little bit ahead. As you guys walk through this corridor, it seems to go on for a really, really
No blonde brute
long
bouncing around up there.
time. Do you guys say anything as you guys are walking down this? Or
Have-
you guys kind of...
Have I ever been here before? Do I know the area? Do I know the way? Does Shonen know the way?
Shonen has definitely not been here before. Catherine, you recognize, but you haven't really been here in a while. This is like for the really, really bad people, and
Okay.
they haven't really been around that much.
I was like, do I kind of know a basic way to kind of get out of here or escape the prison?
Yeah. You would know kind of the general layout. All you can really tell though that it's just a long hallway,
Yeah.
empty. There's no doors, anything like that.
Okay.
I'm going to stop streaming though because you guys have passed it. So great job. No combat for you guys.
Without throwing any punches. I didn't know we could do that, guys. As a
Colors.
team, I'm
I
actually
don't,
Yeah, great job.
like we work together.
I don't
So-
want to kill anyone. They're my friends.
You guys continue through this and you start to see. So I'm guessing know that you guys don't talk to each other. You don't say
Nah.
anything.
I'm
before
just catching up to them, but I think
Yeah,
I have a
you
much
you
longer
eventually catch
stride.
up. Yeah, you catch up to them, and you just again notice that there's a fucking long ass hallway. You get to the end, you start to see a bit of light sprinkle through as you guys continue through, and as you guys walk out, you peer into the distance, the door from the light from the window. You guys come to a door. So you guys open the door. You notice that it's the outside world, and there are hundreds of guards
Oh,
right there
fuck.
at the very end. And Sarge looks at you and goes, "Well, he made it easy for us," and then basically ties you guys back up and then starts marching you guys to the main area, which is going to be an execution in front of everybody. The verdict was that there wasn't enough evidence to prove you innocent, therefore you must be guilty. And so, you guys are all there. Sarge is also kind of confused because he was like, a few hours ago he was with me, like he must have killed him like right then and there, like
Mhm.
and then you show to kill him. So Sarge is actually the leading eyewitness for what happened, and he's like,
Yeah.
"I can't even believe it myself," and you basically get tied up and you guys are marching to get executed. You see a gigantic Goliath, 10 foot tall, tatted up. He's has his face covered, but it's the only thing that's like big enough for you to really notice. He has
Mhm.
an axe that is just
A huge
huge, and he lines up all of you guys where he can get you guys all in one fell swoop. That's how big his axe is. You guys are all tied up,
Holy shit.
right next to each
Well,
other.
I feel like we might have gotten off the hook if the sergeant didn't say that he actually killed the king and stuffed his heart down his throat.
Yeah,
That
but you
may
guys
have
don't know I
been-
said that.
Yeah, we never would have
You
known.
bring
You
up
yelled
a
it very
good point,
loudly.
Randman.
Like that was the
I do
killing.
have I do have a logistical question. I
Mhm.
think we have quite a height difference, though.
I
So
know.
how is like, what is he gonna just like cut
Well,
us in half? It's
all
like
you guys' heads are at the same spot.
okay,
It's like
so
a
we're like
gallows.
laying down.
Yeah.
I was
You guys are-
envisioning us like we're on our knees, and it was just like you're gonna cut me in like in half to get like
I guess
Poindexter's head or
Yeah.
something.
So imagine like a guillotine. You guys are
Yeah,
basically
okay.
hands are up, head is inside. All your heads are at the same local point. And instead of a thing coming down,
It's like a
basically,
chihuahua and a Great Dane. Yes.
I envision you guys like on your knees, like you said, but like they just set fucking
Stood
me
you up.
on the fucking post. Like I'm just laying on my stomach on the whole fucking circle.
He's like,
with
fucking Ilradim is just 2 foot tall at this point. Just fucking yeah. So he's
Okay,
even
so I'm still-
shorter.
I'm still 2 foot tall. That's what I was
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I still
yeah.
do I still have the homunculus? Because as a
the homunculus has kind of like hidden behind
so
your.
usually
still kind
since
of around.
he like how I imagined him is like he crawls like on me, right? And he like
Yeah.
hides like in the
Yeah.
hair because it's big and bushy, but
So I imagine he's somewhere within your body.
he's chilling on. Okay, all right.
Um,
Like I can do much with just a
and
homunculus. So
yeah,
I'll figure it out.
a very regal person comes up, and he begins to talk to the crowd. All right, everybody. No one likes this more than I do, but it is what we have to do to our traitors. It's heartbreaking, of course. You know, Captain Ed, he was one that we loved. These other people, well, some of them will die and not be remembered, and that will be okay. But Captain Ed sure will be missed, probably out of all of these other people. I don't know how he did it, or why he did it, but it is about that time that we straddle in, and we get back to what was supposed to be a really great day as we celebrate 50 years of peacetime, and Captain Ed had to go and do this horrible thing. God, what a dazzle. Really terrible. Really brought down the mood, Captain Ed, as he looks back at you, and again gestures to the crowd and says, do we want it swift or should we do it fast? What should we do?
I'm mumbling to Archie so he can hear me. He's like, "You're gonna okay, buddy. The last chance. All we're gonna do is go over and you're gonna sabotage that axe, okay? That big giant one that's gonna kill all of us. Please go
Archie's
take care of it."
sitting there like this, just like, I got it, twiddling his hands, and he like flexes up his little lizard body, and then he crawls through the back way because again he's kind of stuck up here, kind of crawls through your pants and rolls out of your thing to kind of go up to the executioner, who's again not really paying attention. He's putting his finger through his ear.
Hopefully very distracted by the speech that's been given.
Yeah.
So I was like, hopefully he can...
Yeah. Do you guys try anything else?
That's all I got.
Can I?
So would try to invoke rage, I guess, and see if he can like break out of it. I mean, he would be,
Okay.
I think, desperate and angry.
Perfect.
Raymond's still looking for his donkey.
Fucking hell.
I love it.
Yeah.
Just like looking in the ground, like
He sees,
Where?
he sees his ass way back there just munching on the produce.
He
Like,
does.
God damn it.
Absolutely. So as you guys are all trying to figure out what to do, Raymond, especially with your really, you can see very clearly with your eye. You notice in the
Oh, yeah.
very back, your produce. You had kind of left your thing. The donkeys kind of like carried your wagon down to this to watch you die in a very morbid way. Like why the fuck does this donkey know this is gonna happen? But you see him staring daggers directly at you, like you had this coming, man. And he's just chewing up all of your vegetables, all your food.
My cabbages.
He's staring at all of these things like, hey, you shouldn't have tried to sell me, bitch. And you have this moment with this donkey that, he's coming at you.
Magic moment.
This
So,
magic.
You said, show you tried to invoke rage. Al, Radine, and Captain Ert, and Raven, do you guys try anything?
I'm. Can I see? Are my family in the crowd? Like, are either of my siblings or my dad in there?
You notice your dad is in there, and he is devastated and very disappointed in you.
Can I yell out to him? Would he be able to hear what I'm saying?
You can yell out. You wouldn't know if he would hear you or not, but you
Right.
can certainly try.
Oi, Pop. You know, my sis made it into the military because I wasn't, I was the weaker one. You don't think I could have done this, eh?
Perfect. You don't see if he notices you or not. He doesn't.
Okay.
Doesn't make any effort. He kind of looks like he can kind of hear something you're saying, but again, he's still kind of distraught that you would even do something like this.
Okay.
The other three.
Could I see if Tydox's what is it? What is your little buddy called?
Archie.
His homunculus
Archie?
servant.
Homunculus.
Archie.
Could I see if he's actually doing anything? Like, is he succeeding? Like, does he need
Yeah.
time?
So you see, you look over and you see what is fallen over is the homunculus servant is trying to disassemble the axe from itself, and then you see the Goliath look over at it and he flicks it away off into the crowd, and it bursts into like 1,000 pieces.
Oh no,
um,
Archie!
Just
Come back.
immediately, and you start to see some of the screws start to.
It takes a
back.
minute. He'll come back.
And so,
But it looks like he'll succeed if he gets distracted, right? Or at least that's kind of what I'm thinking.
it looks like it would not succeed.
Okay, it looks like it will not succeed. Okay.
It looked like he was doing pretty much nothing before
Okay.
he got flicked
Tried
away.
so hard.
I wanted this to work. Could I break out? Am I just tied up with ropes? Could I break out pretty easily?
You guys are tied in by adamantine steel, basically,
Oh, no,
that is
yeah.
like chained you down, like shackled you into the ground. Force head, arms are basically right up, tied in. It's pretty tight.
I think the
Last
only
chance
thing,
for
I think-
anybody to do anything.
Okay.
the only thing I can think of is I'd probably look over to Sarge and maybe try and do maybe like a persuasion and be like, I'd ask to see if there's anything I could do to prove our innocence.
Yeah, cool. So do you want to role play that moment?
Yeah. Sarge,
Yeah, he looks at you, looks up at you.
you know I didn't do this.
Well, I don't know that you didn't do it, but
I've been loyal to the king for 50 years. I can prove I'm innocent. I just need time. I can prove we're innocent. We just need time.
time would be nice, but by my calculations, you really only got like a minute or two.
Let us go, and we'll get the proof you need.
Boy, that sounds like a terrible idea. It sounds like you probably just go kill another king, but we'll see what we can do. Perfect.
Okay.
Last moment,
Okay.
you redeem.
So
The only person to be able to try to do anything else.
I really hope this works. I try to use pyrotechnics.
Perfect.
So
Roll a d20, brother.
I got a
Pick a different-
16.
Pick a
You
different
got a
D20.
16, that's what you said?
Yep.
Perfect. You go into a rage. So describe what you plan to do for your pyrotechnics.
Okay. So, what people see is just a bunch of black smoke just start filling the area to the point you can't even see any more than 2 feet in front of you.
Nice. So you start to pour out the smoke, but the smoke kind of gets into your lungs a little bit, and you start coughing, and it makes you so mad, and more mad than you've ever been in your entire life as you're, spitting out the smoke and you're casting the stuff, and you start getting angry. You start shaking the barrel, you start going in, and the smoke kind of evaporates, and the speaker looks back at you and goes, "Well, it was worth a try, Sonny, but could we just kind of get on with it?" And he looks at the executioner, and the executioner gets ready, and he cracks his knuckles, he pops his neck, you know, he's like, "I've been waiting all day for this. This is my favorite thing." And he pops his hand, and he goes up, and right before he slams down, you hear the high priest, Mr. Yosef. Excuse me, gentlemen. Gentlemen, excuse me. And as he projects his whole voice, I think the captain has a chance to say what he has to say. You're right, of course. He should have time to innocence. So let him, by the gods, by the nine, by the father, the mother, let them please obey them. And what you guys see is a very old, regal man who has the symbol of the nine, which is sort of like a red sun with nine pillars to it, radial signs to it, and it has little halos that are kind of beaming from it. He has it on his head, a big, tall, regal white hat. He's got a cloak. He comes up with a cane, and he's a very, very old man as he approaches you guys. And he goes, "I declare from that church that they shall be pardoned of all their sins until further investigation." And he basically signals to release them. And because the church has such high power in this thing, you guys are still chained up, but he ushers you guys basically off to his chambers. And so you guys go off to the largest cathedral in the kingdom. As you guys are walking, and you guys are still chained up, but you guys are still just chained up together as you have now been granted an audience with the high priest, Yosef. Do you guys say anything?
Would I still be in rage, or like
you guys
would I
have
be-
both. You guys have both come out of rage at this point.
Okay.
So
Did Archie make it back to me?
Archie has made it back to you. Yes.
Oh, thank God. So disappointed.
So are we walking with what's his face? The what's his name?
Yeah. His name is High Priest Yosef.
Yosef.
Okay. And we're walking
then
with
just-
him back too, right?
And you're walking. You're not walking with him. He's kind of far away, but his kind of priestly guards have kind of like, they're like the Templars. They have like they're like the highest order outside of just the regular church, or outside of the regular captain's, King's Guard.
Yeah.
They're like the highest military might in the cathedral, or in the kingdom, as they are walking you guys to his chambers.
When we leave the room, I just we walk by the donkey, and I just have the smuggest look.
Yeah, the donkey is just, you see him pop up one of his paws and chomps down a carrot right as you walk away from him.
Okay, Disney has written the personality for this donkey. Like, it is a comedic.
It's not
he's
over.
the big bad. He's the big bad.
He's the big
He
bad.
figured it out.
He's just like, it's not over.
I love it. Perfect.
Would
Do you
you
guys
least
do
expect it?
anything as you guys continue walking? Or say anything, rather?
Show would have like kind of whispered to everybody, was like, "Well, High Priest Joseph really sure did take his time with that part, didn't he? Really wait until the last minute."
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just kind of analyzing the situation.
Is High Priest Yosef? It's Yosef. Yes.
Yeah, Yosef.
He's been here a very long
Spell the-
time. Maybe he just didn't realize what was going on. The church is very important to some people. Tried to like cover for him because Tynox is just incredibly grateful to be alive. He kind of wants to suck up to whatever's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, very important things to do, and we just might not have been high priority at that time.
What's more important than the assassination of a king?
Well, maybe he understands that we kind of have to find out who really did it. I mean, I wasn't there. I didn't do it.
Me
I mean,
neither.
oh, good.
Perfect. So you guys continue through. It's a bit of a walk. So you guys are pretty tired. You guys haven't eaten all day, so you guys are very, very hungry. And so you guys walk into the cathedral, and essentially the high priest has set already before you guys a massive feast, a huge thing, kind of to celebrate you guys. Like it's like a big party, but you're like, I don't, why am I getting celebrated?
That's exactly what Tridax is like. What the hell?
And so Joseph, he's sitting at the head of the table and kind of ushers you guys to all sit down. You're still kind of shackled at this point, and as you guys make your seats, they undo all the shackles for you guys, and allows you guys to sit down. Again, there's like hundreds of guards here, but they're all kind of in the corners.
What does he go by, Your Highness, or your priest?
He goes by High Priest.
Oh yeah. I'd probably look up to him and be like, High Priest, what is the meaning of this?
I'm truly so sorry. Of course, I was trying to get there, but my old brittle bones, it takes me a while to kind of move. I was going to send somebody, but I figured if I came in person, it would be better, but
I hear
body,
that. Yes.
It takes a while. He gestures to you as you say that. You see, so of course I would. Well, I believe you, Captain. You're such a valuable member of our kingdom, our place, and there's war all over the place. Mycelium is trying to attack our kingdom and force our hand at things. And well, you see, I was trying to, get there in a quick time. Well, sad to say, I love the king. I love Leonard. He was a son to me almost. I've watched him and his father for a very long time. And you see, now his son Francois will take the crown, and he is young and naive. And you see, I can only give you about 1 year's time to explore this, but it's under one condition, however, is I need you to do something for me, for the kingdom, rather. I need to cast a spell of sorts for the kingdom of a whole, to put a warding spell on our kingdom so that no one can attack us while we're vulnerable. And I do need it pretty quickly. Because, again, war is at our feet, and all of these things are going to happen. And young Francois should not be taken aback, or his sisters, rather, either, as they get sold off for power. We need something here. So, and then what he does is he waves a hand around, like moves his hand, and then kind of offers you guys this quest without necessarily any
information.
Well, basically, he offers you a quest to go capture stuff. He doesn't give you a ton of information yet, but he basically tells you, like, hey, you have a year's time to kind of figure out who killed the king. And then also, he needs your help to do something as well. Raven.
Well, Mr. Preset, I've been drinking a lot. I didn't think I was going to make it this far. Can we get some
Right.
grub?
Oh, of course. And so there's like a table set before you, and he waves his hand, and an entire feast like appears, and it's the best food you have ever seen in your entire life. All of you guys. I mean, it is the most elegant, extravagant. He casts essentially a spell called Hero's Feast, where it's this immaculate feast. And tells you guys all to eat, and again apologizes for any delay.
Shonen, I think, would kind of glance at the high priest and say, "Well, now I don't have any sympathy for the boy king, but I am about to look a gift horse in the mouth." And he just goes down and starts to sit and eat.
Perfect.
The donkey.
Elridine.
So, High Priest, sir, I'm having out trouble casting spells. Would you be able to help me in any way, shape, or form?
Yes, come here, my son. He walks over to him and he grabs your head in like a, not a, I mean, to everyone else it looks very forceful, but it's like a soft, caress. Like, he grabs your hand, basically puts his two thumbs on top of your forehead, and he holds you for a moment. And you have a better chance now of casting the spell that you want to.
Okay. I
And he
appreciate it.
he looks at you and says, poor boy, of course, such young. And he also grows you back to the regular size.
Oh, thank God.
He's
Yeah.
still small.
I forgot I was 2 feet tall.
He looks at you and he says, my poor boy, you have many things going on in this big head of yours. Here, and he clears some of the fog away in your head. And yeah, it allows you to cast things with a slight little edge of attunement.
Oh, thank God.
Slight edge.
Dude, the rest of you guys sit down at this feast and party.
Oh, I'm
Archie.
ravenously eating.
Right.
I'm not
I think
gonna eat.
Captain
As-
Nerd's not eating, okay?
Tydox would have tried to. He heard the part about trying to keep the boy king safe, and instantly was talking to Archie, and Archie has.
Is that Archie?
For now.
I love
For now,
it.
it's Archie. I literally just had this by the bed. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm taking that." So he.
So, hi, Priestess Joseph. The when you talk about making sure that the boy king is safe, I think I have something that might help us with that.
And he shows him his through a little projection of Archie, and he kind of gives him the symbols to go of the sanctuary spell. So as a little flavor text of this is a drone that hovers over the person that is cast on and kind of has a protective aura around them, like a light. And so he's trying to explain it, oh yes, so essentially this little machine, this is going to hover around any intended target, and it's going to keep them from harm, going to protect them, and it's going to make sure that they are always safe. It's always going to be there, never going to need anything. It's never going to sleep. It's not going to need to be fed or change watch. It's just there. Okay, great.
He looks at you and he smiles and he says, "What an excellent idea! Of course, it's a beautiful thing that you've done. I love it. Truly, I love it. Great idea. So
And he is just-
smart for who you are." As he's just hyping you up and talking about how great you are. He also says it would be nice, but however, we need something a bit bigger, and only I'm able to cast this spell. You see, magic in this world is scarce. Only a select few know any magic, and well, I've been blessed by the Father himself to share with you guys this spell. But I need something. 7 artifacts that I need to you guys collect. I've truthfully have sent other adventurers out to go find them, and well, not many have come back, or any, rather.
How
He
will
looks
finding
down.
these 7 artifacts help us prove our innocence?
Of course, if you are willing to grab these 7 artifacts,
Oh, of course, of course.
the pardon extends for life. It proves your innocence, that you do anything for the kingdom. And your faithful new king, Francois, he is only but a boy. His life is so precious, and the spell will allow us to let him come of age and have a normal boy life until he can become a young man and make decisions. And these artifacts are very powerful things, and it's why I need you. It's why I believe you guys can find this artifacts. You guys are. He kind of peers at each one of you guys, and rambunctious crew, but a good one nonetheless. And I have faith that you will find these things for us. And it sounds like a generous offer, right?
Oh,
Something,
of course.
it's fair, right? Something that you guys can surely do,
When the alternative is death, I mean, yeah, yes.
right?
Seems rather one-sided, don't you think?
I hate that it is one-sided, but that's the law around here. It's how you would be proven innocent, Mr. Ed.
Well, my boss will be pissed, but he's gonna be pissed if I don't show back up. So
I've taken the liberty to share with all of your, especially you, Al-Radim, and our prestigious School of the Mage, and I've excused you of your absences. I have a lot of say around here, actually, so you know how the 9 goes. And Mr. Raven, of course, we will pardon you from work as well.
sounds better than another day at the bar.
It
I was
is.
pretty much kicked out of every class anyway, so wasn't missing much.
And Mr. Al-Radim, of course, I plan on you learning a whole lot here in this wonderful, wonderful adventure that I have for you. Any other objections, or can I get to the fun stuff?
Raymond lifts his face up. He's just been chowing down. So all he's ever eaten is beets. He's like, I've got some. I should have some beets left at the castle if you want to buy any.
Ah,
I would awfully appreciate it.
yes, we shall purchase whatever you need, and I will equip you with all the things that you need on your adventure. No charge here.
And the donkey's
Wow.
just like staring at you through the window. Just
Randy, can you roll me a Constitution saving throw with advantage?
Constitution, that's a +2.
I think Sherlock would have also like patted Raymond on the back and been like, "Now that's a businessman."
Let's see. That would be a 18 +2.
Perfect. So this food is very elegant. It's nicer than any food you've ever eaten in your entire life.
Well, all I've eaten my entire life is beets.
Yeah, as you taste this food, it goes down to, it turns a little bit, and you're like, oh, but then it's like, oh, wow, it actually makes me feel a lot better. If it were to go bad, you would have soiled yourself probably, or needed to go to bed. So good thing that did not happen. But any other objections or concerns for Mr. Yosef.
I guess I don't know if this is really what you're supposed to use it for, but could I use like divine sense to see if there's like anything like
Less
not
than
right?
divine.
Yeah,
than
less than
divine.
divine.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Like they
know.
put
Can
a
you? Okay.
salad fork on the wrong side or something? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. But can I use divine sense just to kind of
Yeah.
survey the area?
So I'll give you a hint
Choice.
for divine sense. Divine sense sees celestial. It says good and evil, but it actually doesn't mean intentions. What
Okay.
divine sense means is good and evil, as in celestial versus demonic.
Okay.
So you feel an enormous amount of celestial energy in this area, which is the 9.
Okay.
So you feel like this food specifically has been blessed by the gods themselves. That this
Okay.
food is joyous, it's delightful, it's full of energy and life.
Okay.
So
I think after doing that, then I probably would just grab something small, just like just like a
cool.
just
You are
to eat
also
something.
probably very hungry at this point.
Yeah, but I'm trying to like reserve
but-
myself because
Yeah, I get it. Absolutely.
I felt like
Um,
he like picks up like how we would pick up like a chicken wing. It would be like a whole half a chicken though for him, and it'd be like that equivalent.
it's small.
So
Just a little bite. And he's like,
Just a little
He
bit.
just
Absolutely.
pokes it with a claw. He's just
Yeah.
like,
"Mm, mm."
yeah, he sucks that down. You guys are sitting down. You guys are enjoying the festivities. And basically the high priest comes back in, or he's still there, but he comes back to talking, and he says like, enjoy everything. I'll take care of everything. As he like is moving things around. And then he basically says, of course, I trust every single one of you, but the problem comes from, see, I've given this quest to a few other adventurers, and well, they haven't come back. And so, as a little insurance, every one of you guys feels your heart tighten. And you guys can roll an Arcana check to kind of
Oh,
understand
hell
what's
yeah.
happening.
Damn it!
Boy.
I knew I should have waited.
Arcana.
I have like a negative. Like
My
four.
That was
baby.
-1.
I got 17.
Oh yeah.
I know it's just zero.
19
I got a
I
plus
less.
got a-
7.
I got a 14.
You
I
got
26.
26. So,
I know
you're
things.
the only person to really understand what has just happened. Everyone else feels their heart tighten. You guys assume that it's from the food that
Yeah,
you
it's the
guys
s-
have. It's like it's not sitting right. You guys feel like, oh, maybe like I haven't eaten anything. Tydox,
Is-
you feel like some sort of spell has been casted, specifically pacting you guys all together. That the end of the pact basically states that if you don't come back with these 7 artifacts within the year, that your heart will rupture and you guys will die immediately. And there's no spell or way for you guys to come back. And so you
We just have to have
understand.
him
this
release
magic.
the spell, right?
Yeah, the
So it's
only
like a-
way out is by him releasing the spell. And you know that. And basically, you can choose to share that with everyone. Everyone else just kind of feels their heart tingle a little bit, and you guys kind of ignore it. But, or you guys are, cough it up, or just assume that it's the food.
So Tydox would definitely just
Tydox
stop.
assume he knows that some very, very high level magic has just been.
Well, we don't know how we got it, right? We're just assuming it's the food, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll redeem.
Or the-
Okay. This will either go very, very good or very, very bad.
Oh,
Lordy.
Perfect.
based on our
yeah.
track record.
We
Uh,
swimming. Ain't no track here.
Detect thoughts.
Okay.
I would like to do it on Tydox.
Perfect. Roll a d20.
Or like wipe its memory or something.
No, no. Tadok dies immediately.
A
Counterspell.
15.
15. Perfect. So you detect thoughts. Tell me what you do to try to detect thoughts.
Hold on.
Ert has to pee.
Basically, I initially
Dismissing
learn.
glances to Ert.
I initially learn what's on his mind first and foremost. The very surface of what he's thinking as of right
Sweet.
now.
Shonen, what are you thinking? In the most basic day to day, what's going on in your head right now? What's the most surface thoughts going on?
Like he has like his fork is like piercing something, and he's just like, "This is like, are they feeding us again before they're about to kill us again?" And then just like that, and he's like, "It doesn't really matter that much, does it?" And then
He's
he just
probably
keeps on eating.
He's like, naked ladies, naked ladies,
And
naked ladies, naked
Ilradim,
ladies.
you are staring directly at Tydox as this is happening. Tydox is shook down at his core. Shonen, what's a deeper thought as you go in? Something the next level deeper, maybe something you're struggling with, something that you're afraid of, some fear of sorts.
I think he would have been thinking of how he was shackled there, and how he started to feel claustrophobic, and that he would have been stuck in this servitude without having seen his mother again.
Gotcha. Perfect. So Elradim, that's what you hear all while you're staring at Tydox, as Tydox is shook to his core. What's going on?
Interesting.
And you assume that, Tydox is just like carefree in the world, but he's like, why are you so shocked by all this? That's not that shocking. And Joseph says, now, I do have a little bit of insurance that I've given you guys. And if you run away or you steal any of my artifacts that I need for this spell, well, there's consequences of sorts. And please, I beg you, just get these artifacts to help your kingdom, your family, your friends, everyone that you love who's in this area. Please, I beg you, I pray you, save our kingdom. I didn't want to do this insurance, but I had to. He said there's been other adventurers who haven't heeded my warning and have gone off and just done their own thing. And this mission will be dangerous. Some of you may die just going. I have faith that you will be the ones to save this place.
Some of you may die.
Yeah, I know. And then he lets you know how just heartbroken, how sad he is.
Can
You guys feel pretty? I mean, yeah. What do you?
Tydox after that wouldn't say anything, but he would definitely want to try to roll an insight check to see
Absolutely.
to see how easy, because he knows what just happened. And
Yeah.
he's just like, how effortlessly is this man lying to my face?
Yeah, fair
Well,
enough. Roll
let's
me
do-
an insight. I will say with advantage
Ooh, I love it.
because you got to hear some of the things.
Okay, so we're at a 16 plus 3. We're at 19.
Okay. He feels genuine. He feels like he truly cares about the kingdom. That he's truly sad and heartbroken that you guys are
put in this predicament.
Yeah, put in, and that he has to do this. You know, like he doesn't feel like he wants to do this, but he feels like it is something that he feels like he has to do. He feels like a sympathetic father who has sent you guys on to this mission where some of you might die. You know, he's hurt and he's sad and he misses his king, but he feels like it's the only thing that he can do to protect the kingdom, you know, for the greater good. So you definitely feel like he should have kind of been more upfront about what has happened,
Smidge.
but you definitely feel that he is genuinely sad by having to send you guys out.
Yusuf, I
And-
will definitely do my best, and I will come back. The consequences are far greater than you let us believe. Feel we will all be more than happy to get these artifacts for you.
Yosef has been holding back tears this whole time. On his old, wrinkled face, you see tears start to come down as he looks at you and he says, "Thank you. Of course, it's never easy to send my children out to what may be their slaughter. And I know of only one artifact location, and it's across the sea onto the main continent of Alexandria, where there's a cave. It's the last known location of this item, and it's known as the helm or the horn of Valhalla. It's a very powerful item, but it's needed in this ritual. And please, just be careful. And I promise I'll send you on your way with everything that you'll need for this adventure."
Tydox just doesn't. He accepts, obviously, because he has to, but he just feels a little taken back by the extremes that the high priest would go to do this, to get these things, and just wonders why he is even thought of as a potential candidate for this. But
Yeah. You guys have been chosen for a really impactful quest, an adventure. It's fair. It's fair. You guys should feel good, but also honored, you know, and a little bit scared of this quest that is going to be taking it back to hopefully save your kingdom.
Oh.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I wanted to like kind of out of, you know, in a defeated breath, you know, because obviously, but I'm like, will the king get a proper burial?
Yes, of course. As he looks behind you in the cathedral where kings have been buried and they have been erected statues, you see behind them a few kings that have been, I think there's been like 4 or 5 that have been alive since the beginning of the kingdom. Would be the 6th king, and then Francois would be the 7th king. And you see, like, of course, we would bury him and honor him for all of the things that he's done and gone through.
Okay. Good.
Quick clarification.
Mhm.
I had a nat 20 roll on that Arcana. I didn't know if you heard me. Am I also
I
aware
did
of
not.
what's going on?
You would be.
Okay.
Yeah, everything that I told Tydox, you would have also heard as well. So you would know too. I didn't know that. I thought
No, that's fine. That's fine.
The-
I don't intend
the
on
cap
telling
point
the
to
group
tell you guys the
either.
cap point was 20.
Okay.
So anybody that had above 20
Alright.
on that Arcana.
Yeah, I also have no intention of telling the group it, but I get the sense that he also knows, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So with that, the high priest lets you guys enjoy the meal for the rest of the day that goes on. Basically, to give you guys time period of what happened. You guys, all the events of you guys introducing yourself was the morning. You guys have been in jail basically all day. This is about nighttime. So then you guys have been feeding dinner, and then you guys are offered a room within the cathedral to go to bed. And then you guys will all be able to take a long rest. And then
Ert can take a bathroom break.
Hooray!
It's
The headache
fidgeting
is
like a
no
child.
longer hurting me.
Sir.
So, sorry, this is the end of the session. So, essentially, what happens as you guys wake up, we will cover all of that next session. And so, that is it.
So I can take a long rest right now?
Yep, take a long rest. I'm going to sign off.
All right.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for another session, for our first session here in Alexandria. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we hope to hear more from you guys later. Go ahead and say goodbye, everybody.